What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on the Space Engineers Let's Build series. We're back working on our Shadowbound capital vessel, which I think started coming together pretty well at the end of the last episode. I think we got a fairly decent way of merging the overall blend of the back and the new kind of side. I still think they're probably going to turn into hangars more than thrusters. I was calling them thrusters, but I still think hangars is probably going to be the more likely use for them, for small fighters of some kind, maybe. And the bottom one will be for kind of like a Corvette type build. So we have a couple of things to work on today that I'd like to accomplish. One is ironing out this back edge. Where did I leave my platform over here that has my screen grabs? Now there is one thing that I've noticed about this design back here that we did, and that's that there's actually this back protrusion, and it's a little bit squared when it comes around here and it squares off. So we might have to factor that in a bit. Now, a couple of people had mentioned the overall shape and design of the ship being the, you know, that I didn't go with a more narrow hull type of thing. I went with the mirror, which was a little bit on the fatter side. And it's not exactly that that's not true. I think for what I wanted to do with the ship, I think it works better. And once we get this kind of squared away and we finish off the overall design of the hull shape and we're like, okay, this is cool, this is fine, I may end up, I could always cut the bottom and, or at least cut a couple of the layers out and then raise this up and extend out the slope a little bit to give it a bit more of a narrow underbelly. So we could always do that. It would change a little bit of the shape, but not too much. If anything, it would just raise, it would shorten the height of these and make them a bit more squared. But for now, what I think I want to work on is trying to get this back edge squared away. Now the thing for this is, like I said, I'm seeing a lot of a slope here and not enough of a hook, and it doesn't ever really square up. So I'm not actually sure if this in and of itself will be enough. I think it will. I think it'll be okay because it at least matches the angle of the back. That's why I think it'll work itself out, I think. We're going to play around with it a little bit, though, and hope for the best. So, is mirror mode not on? Ooh, that would have been dangerous. Alright, so first thing, we're just going to fill this in, I think. And I need to figure out how this shape here is going to end up working. So let's go ahead and play with the bottom edge here and make sure that everything kind of works the way that it's intended to. So in theory, since we have this kind of set up the way that we do, it should work every layer as long as we follow the same pattern. The only part I'm not sure about is over here on this edge, because as you can see, I didn't anticipate merging into this shape. I was kind of keeping merging into this one. Now, we fixed it in the last episode by going to a steeper slope, but it's kind of one of those time will tell. Oh, and I need to make a copy of this. I started working on the original. That's a bad idea. Bad move. Always make copies. And hope there's no momentum to make it move. I always do that where I paste them too quick and then there's like a little bit of inertia and it just moves the ship ever so slightly and it's like, stop floating away. I can never get these to rotate right. So I think this pattern will hold up, but kind of one of those, the only way to really know for sure was to actually just try it. So I figured that we would do this and see what it ends up doing. Okay, so that's one layer. Now, what we need to figure out is how this layer will work. Now, like I said, we changed this up from ramps and brought this over like so. And I guess we just curve this. I'm kind of playing this by ear, to be honest. I'm not really sure how this will end up lining up. Nope, that's not the block I need. I need this one. Okay, and then we'll put a block here and here. See, the part that concerns me about this is the next row from that. Let's see what it does. Now, I don't know. Is there any reason for all of this to be here? I guess there's not. So we could probably cut layers of this stuff out. I can't. Where's the highlight? I can't ever see this stuff. So, okay, we're gonna need. I've got a lot of extra material here. That's the one thing that I always have a hard time with in these builds too, is as things change, getting excess blocks that you don't really need them, and they add mass and everything to the build. And so you're kind of like, well, I guess I don't really need all of that. So why is it there? Kind of thing. And yeah, because this is supposed to end up being a hollowed out hangar, I really can't see any use for all of this junk. But I can always go in and clean that up a little bit later from the inside if I need to as well. So for now, let's just see if we can get this hull squared away. So there's the outer edge. Now obviously I do need to keep a block under there to keep the connected texture look. Alright. And I don't know if I need a block under that one or not. I never can remember which ones do the connected texture things, which ones don't, other than the main blocks. Alright, so that's where the edge should go. Then we put another layer of these, like so. Mirror mode is amazing. Okay, and then we'll put the inverts here to line that up. Now, like I said, the big question is going to be how the next layer ends up working and whether or not this holds at that point. Yeah, and we'll have to play around once I get this all sealed in too, as to how the inner part ends up looking and how much space we actually have. Because, do I have my lights on? I do. Because some of this will need, you know, like this is part of the structure, I believe. Maybe. There it is. Okay. So yeah, that's part of the structure. But if we end up hollowing this out, then we don't actually need a lot of that in there. And it's just extra armor, extra weight, etc. and so on. Now for this part, let's see how this ends up working. This is the one I'm curious about, because this is where we stop hitting this curve and we start kind of going along with this edge. So I'm kind of curious to see how this will work out, or probably more accurately, if this will work out. We'll go ahead and put a block there, because it's going to end up doing it anyway. Okay. Let's drag this out to, I guess, here. Now, there are a couple of options here that makes things a little bit interesting. We could go back one, like this, and then that keeps a bit of the standard shape, like that, which is probably the smarter move. I'm going to go with that for now. Our other alternative would have been to rotate the right way, dagnabbit. Our other alternative would be to bring this out one block and then just have two corners next to each other, but since these shapes are all kind of doing this kind of thing, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense to do it that way. Now, one thing I'm noticing is that up until this point, we don't have any of these inverted corners that aren't covered. So, the question is, do we keep trying to do that, or do we try and change this one to match a bit more of this style? See, this is where it gets a little interesting, because at this point, it was kind of like one block every time, one block up. Now we've skipped one, because this shape doesn't really work. Out of curiosity, I do want to see what happens when we do this. Where is it going to end up here? Because I'm trying to find a pattern that basically works for everything. So we can kind of do the same thing here, I suppose. Huh. That may have to work, because I don't know if it'll work any other way. I'm not sure if that design would hold up in any other different situations. I guess I need to get rid of these ramps too, huh? Okay. And then... for now, we'll just do this. We won't worry about those other ramps. Not thrilled, but I think it might work. But as you can see, there's a couple of different transitions. We got one here, then we've got one here, then we've got one here, and then we've got kind of the regulating pattern at that point. And I'm not super thrilled with that. But like I said, I don't really know if we have a whole lot of options. My only other option I can think of is to bring this out one block, but then it's just kind of like this, which I don't think I like that as much. Especially when I don't think I could do that here either. It would still end up a few blocks away. So I think it's better to pull it back one and leave it. I think. I don't know. I'm just going to keep going with this and see what I come up with and kind of look at it. We have a copy back there, so if it doesn't work, we don't have to use it. Alright, so here's what I got. I'm not 100% convinced that I like it yet. Let's see if I can get the lighting a little bit better. So it's a little bit concave to me. It's a little bit sunk in more than I'd probably like. And I'm wondering if I can't do something where, like, I don't know, maybe at this point? I'm wondering if it's somewhere I can't just connect this side to this side and straighten it out, rather than trying to make this kind of bevel. Because again, it's not quite the way it looks on the original design. It's a bit more of a squared off edge here. As you can see, it kind of curves around, but it kind of keeps the same depth. And then it just kind of juts up, and then over here it kind of curves in a little bit. So this might be a little bit too curved. And I also noticed somehow the bottom dimensions are slightly different, because we got this. So I'm going to turn off mirror mode for a second, and I'm just going to clip this, I think. And that's not how that's supposed to work. Let's grab this, maybe, and snip it, and then get rid of that. And I guess the way we would fix this is to remove these ramps Come on, you stupid thing. There we go. And then just kind of fill this in, I guess. So, yeah, that's a little bit better. I guess I did actually shorten the bottom slightly. So, that's interesting. But yeah, back to this part over here. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm almost wondering... let's go ahead and make a duplicate of this. I made a copy of it, but I didn't fix the bottom, so I'm just going to make another one. I cleaned up my world save a little bit, so we only have 3 or 4 of these ship models in here now, so should be fine. But I'm kind of wondering about... You know what I'm actually wondering is at this height here, where the... right there at that seam, I wonder if I could just take this and go, you know what, let's just mess with it. That's what the copies are for, after all. Like, this is what I was talking about. Could I just bring this out and either do maybe every other? Let's see if I could pull that off. Because if I do it this way, I wouldn't have to worry so much about these little edge pieces. I could do it a bit more, cover it up a bit more. Actually, let's go ahead and place those there so it covers something up. Now, the only thing... Ooh, I just realized something. If I take this back by 1, I could actually go back to using the ramps, which would give us a much smoother curve. Interesting. For those of you that don't get what I'm talking about, fear not. I shall clear it up shortly. If I can ever get these to rotate correctly. Okay. Nope. Nope. There we go. Alright, so we do that. And then... Whoop, nope, wrong buttons. Don't hit those buttons. We do this. Boom. And... Come on. A boom. Now, there's one ginormous problem with this. And I think it's the same issue that I had before, which is this transitional point. Okay. That may not work then. I got excited for a second there, but that may not work. Because it could work if I don't use the ramps, or at least not here. Maybe. Because I can do this and then curve this. Like so. The only problem is doing it repetitively, which I'm now realizing was kind of the issue in the first place. Dagnabbit. So this may not work. Alright, we're just going to scrap this one then. We'll go back to this one over here. We'll make a copy of it, but that's not working the way that I wanted it to. So yeah, I don't know, I'm not really thrilled with the way that is showing up. But, as you can see from messing around with it, I'm not really sure I can do any better with this design either. So I'm kind of at a bit of an impasse where I'm not too fond of this shape that it's doing. But I also can't seem to find a way to get around it. What I was kind of thinking was, if I went here and just went, like, continued with these ramps and just went straight up, but I'd have to essentially make all of this just straight block and have this connect directly, and there would be no curve in this shape. Now, yeah, at some point, right about here, maybe? I might have been able to transition from this into... No, probably not. It would have to start somewhere in this region of just doing straight slope edges all the way across to meet with this. But as with this being basically inset further in. This is further back than these up here. It poses a bit of a problem. So I may have to just suck it up and deal with this. I might just have to leave it this way. I'm not a huge, ginormous fan of it, but it might work. It may work itself out in the long run. I also have to take into account of where the ring's going to go. And again, the hull design is taking on a different shape than the original concept. Now, for this part, for back here, for the bridge, I don't know that I want to go from there, but I could do like this. No, maybe not. Maybe not like that. Like this. I might be able to do that. And then maybe do this? Can I do that? Can I get away with that? Looks like I can. Now, this is an interesting situation right here. I could put that there, but then that puts me right at the edge, and I'm not sure that I want to do that. Well, hold on. This might actually work. This may work out. If I do this, I do that, and then we do that, and that. Okay. It's kind of working. Alright, so that's not too bad. That's not too bad. We can make that work. And that is a bit more in line with the original shape of the bridge, because it is supposed to have this kind of inverted... Wow, I really can't get the lighting to work for this. I think that's casting too much of a shadow. Alright, we're just going to have to deal with that. Ugh, it's so dark back here now. Okay. So, let's say the bridge... I'm trying to work on basically the scale in terms of the design of the draft that I did, while also thinking of practically how much space is this really giving me. So let's actually measure this real quick. So we have a total of about 54 blocks. So a third of that, I'm not really looking for, probably be about here somewhere. Let's stick a block down here. See what that looks like. Would that give me enough room? I think so. I think that'll work. Let's try that. Maybe, how much space does this actually give us in between here? So 14, because I'm going to put one here, I think. Though I don't know that I need to. But I probably will if I keep going up with it, so yeah. So we've got essentially 14 space. Okay. Let's do one more. I don't like evens when I'm working with stuff, because then I can't do center points. So let's do that. Let's try with that. And oh, that, how do I transition from an invert to that? Ugh, this could be a problem. I'm gonna have to get creative, because the front part is supposed to go like this, and the back part's supposed to go like that as well. So this could be very tricky to do, actually. Give me just a second. I'm gonna play around with this and see if I can figure out how to get this shape to work. So, two things are occurring to me when I look at this. That bridge is not big enough. I'm thinking I need to come out like way further, like up maybe into the middle. Yeah, that's not a big enough bridge. It could work in terms of space, Like, I mean, it's roomy in here. You could put plenty of consoles and things like that. It's not that it wouldn't work. It's just not very big in terms of proportion to the rest of the ship. I mean, you can kind of look at it from here, and it's like huge hull, little bitty cockpit. You know, it's like it just doesn't work. So I'm thinking I was originally going to use this one to experiment a bit, but I think I'm going to actually use this to alter it. And you might have noticed I tried to keep the original design of having kind of a frame in the center and then having like a frame on the outer edge and stuff like that. I might scrap that for two reasons. One, this is kind of hard to work with. This is the best I could come up with of putting a side face and a 2x1 or a 1x1. But then again, my best solution would be to do something like this, and that doesn't look all that good. I'm not a fan. But this glass setup doesn't leave me any way to work with it. So I do think I have a pretty good idea of how to do this part, though. What I basically did was we've got the invert here that runs along, and then I just kind of let it square up into one of these inverted ones and then keep it squared and then go back to an inverted, and you can kind of move forward. Now, if I extend this, I could actually do this with a ramp, maybe even do the back with a ramp, and it might change the overall shape and design. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, I'm thinking somewhere about here, maybe. Might try and make the bridge about that size. And from flying around, kind of taking a step back and looking at it, I may cut this and take a few of these block layers out and raise this up a little bit so it's not quite so fat. It does kind of look a bit whalish. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. So what I'm going to do here, let's keep this original shape so that I can kind of reference it. But we're just going to snip that, get rid of that. One of the things that I will say from building this and doing more of a consistent Let's Play series every week is I do feel like my building techniques have improved. Actually, I don't think I want that. I think I want this one. So let's go out one more. Like so. And I wonder if I could actually do an invert of that as well. Let's try that. That would be kind of cool. Let's see what that looks like. So if we're here, what happens if I do an inverted like this? Huh. That'd be a little more sleek, I think. Again, the original design had a bit more of a high top, but it might look a little bit better if we run the ramp to it. Now, let's see, space-wise, what are we looking at? 27. Cool. Odd number. Perfect. That works. And it'll also give us a bit more space, too. So, from this point, we're just going to run this... Oh, dagnabbit. I hate that when you... For those of you that don't know, it's a really weird bug, but if you leave the plus ones where you can cycle through the objects on the light armor corner 2x1 ramp, if you leave them like this and then switch to another block, the base won't be in the right direction. Like if you do this and then you go back, it's always flipped. I don't know why it does that. It's really, really weird. It's very odd to me. But if we can keep using the ramps all the way down, it would actually make the glass sections a lot easier to work with, I think. Let's see if I'm right. So, we've got that. Now let's flip the script here. And basically do the same thing. Do I do it this way? No, it would go this way. Right? Oh, that should be the nose. Okay. Nope. Just flip it. There we go. Okay. We'll do that, and I'll come back and do the tips in a second. Wait, is that right? No, that's not right. I just scrolled it, that's all. Okay, dang nabbit, go where you're supposed to go. Thank you. I don't know if this will actually be even or not. Sometimes when you do a shape like this, it ends up being even where the middle is, you know, right in the center. Some of it is like this is further back, this is further forward. It's whatever. Okay, and then like I said, we'll kind of just keep that shape going, It'll be this kind of cool shift kind of thing. Let's go ahead and fill this in if we can. Hopefully we don't end up with too many like extra floating blocks out there. Or none. That works too. And this will basically be our floor. And that way we don't have any weird artifacts when we put glass everywhere. And the other thing I might do is I'm not sure if I actually want to keep that metal framing. I might want to keep it all glass. And then maybe do some kind of cool ballistic type thing in the inside. That's something I thought about where we could do... Wait, do I not have the slope set up here? Why did I do that? That's weird. Hold on. That's not going to work. Get rid of that. I need you. What I was getting at basically, though, was... maybe since we'll have a bit more extra room, I mean, really, realistically comparing to the astronaut character, we will have plenty of room. This is a huge bridge area, but I'm hoping it'll be like a multi-floor, maybe a ringed platform, and then, you know, like a balcony ridge kind of thing. I have big plans. So one of the things that I'm thinking, though, is maybe have airtight doors and retractable stuff like on the inside rather than on the outside. Because this isn't very defendable, if that makes sense. And for now, let's actually just do it like this. And we're going to go... I don't really know how I'm supposed to raise this, though. Unless we just attach to the glass. Where did it go? 9. Okay, so we just attach to the glass. In the interest of time, let me see if we can go ahead and... Oh, I can do it from here. This will give us a good ballpark, I think. The snapping points on these are a little bit off. I've noticed that when you have these set to this and you cycle, that one's 1 over, so you're constantly having to shift back and forth. It's a little weird. You don't have to do that with the armor ramps. And in case anyone wasn't aware, it should be fairly obvious, but the 1x2s are essentially built to match the 2x1 ramps, which is why I said it would be a good idea to use them. A little taller than I would have liked, but it might work. It could work. Can I just snap to... No, I can't, of course. I have to make things difficult. So we'll do that. Nope, that's not the... Is it the right one? Oh, it was the mirror mode. The mirror mode was throwing me off. Okay, that and that. Put 1... Come on. Snap to the right point. There we go. Alright. And... Whoop, where did that go? That was not where I wanted it. Okay. And let me know what you guys think if you like the armor ramp middle part and edge part and stuff like that. I just kind of wanted to see if I did a full glass top, what it would look like. That's not bad. It's not bad. And we'll probably do the same thing here. We're just going to have to invert it, maybe? Oh, no, this isn't supposed to be glass. Okay, this is supposed to be more of the armor ramp stuff. Now, the question is, do we keep going out? I think we do. I think we have to keep going like this, right? Yeah, so I think we have to keep going out. Now, how many does this go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to make sure it goes at least 5 if my math is right. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we'll have to do some creative trickery here. Now, does this go... Ooh, okay, that's... That may or may not work that way. I might want to put this where it caps and flips back over. Ooh! Well, is this what I need it to do? Let's see. Yeah, that would be in line with it. Okay. For now, I don't know that we'll keep it solid, but for now, we'll just attach that like that. On second thought, I don't think I like that curve back. I thought I would, but I don't think I do. I wonder if I can get away with this and just leave it flat on top. Kind of like that shape, though. I do think that works. It still looks the bridge still looks a little bit small for that ship size, but I think it'll be okay. Yeah, I think that'll work. And then obviously, like, actually, did I mess this up? No, I didn't. It would be this way. Nope. This way? Yeah, okay. And then you just keep kind of doing like this. Nope. Right there. There we go. And I guess we'll walk this shape around till we get to this edge, which means for the glass, we would end up doing... Oh, come on. Flip the right way, dagnabbit. I think for the glass, we would end up doing this. And then it's going to basically end up with a square edge there. Now, in the original concept design, this was all armor and it was only this front part that was glass. I'm playing around a little bit with the idea of this being glass as well to give us a bit more visibility, but we may not end up using that. I don't know. Nor do I know how this shape is going to factor in now that I'm looking at it, because we'll end up with a shape similar to this. Huh. So that's not going to work very well. Unless we did... Hold up. What kind of a block do I have to work with this? That's the side facing. Nope. Nope. Is it this? Nope. What am I looking for? I don't have nearly enough glass pieces here. There's... I know I'm missing things. 1 by 2. Where's the 1 by 1s? There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Aha! Here we go. So I need it to kind of do one of these? No. Maybe like this? Nope, that's not gonna work. I need like a invert somewhere to flip this. It's not flipping very well. I need it to kind of... Oh, wait, I've got the wrong... I need the inverted one. Like that. Okay, now... Nope. That's the one... Side? To seal it? Okay, that would take care of that. Now, assuming that we have kind of some type of angle or something, we're going to have to do something to where it's a bit more angled. From this point, well, I could actually do... that. That could work. I think that would be sealed. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, that's what I do. Okay. I think I can make this work. Because what we would do is we'd put faces here and walk it up, basically. I am finding that there are a lot of ways to do things in Space Engineers. You just have to get creative, because the game itself doesn't always make it really easy to work with some of its own blocks. But when you play around with it enough and do enough trial and error, you kind of realize, oh, I can merge that with this, and I can make that do this thing, and kind of so on and so forth. And again, I'm not really sure how this would shape. I'm just kind of doing it this way. And then we could do a side on top. So that's one way we could do it. And then if I were doing it this way and I wanted to keep all of this as glassy as possible, then I would probably do... I don't know what would make it more sealed. I think it would be better to do it this way. I think that's kind of the proper way to do it. Now, then we'd have... I do realize this episode is getting a little bit on the really kind of long side. I'm just trying to kind of see if these shapes will work. Okay, perfect, because then from here, I guess I never flipped this one. From here, then we can flip this back, right? And then when we're... Dagnabbit, I can never get these blocks to rotate right. Then we can do something like that. And then we can kind of keep doing the ramps. Hold on just a second. Let me go ahead and finish this up before we run out of time. Alright, so I think I've done all I can do for the day, and it's gonna have to stay this way, but this definitely does not look right. Something went terribly wrong, and this does not look great at all. I'm kind of thinking maybe I narrowed this too much, and there should be a couple extra, like, spaces in the middle or something. I don't know. I don't know where it went wrong, but it definitely went wrong. I did do another version thinking that the glass was the problem. It's not. So I did do another version up here where the glass just kind of stops and then the rest of it goes forward, but that's still, no, something's off. And I think it's trying to blend this inverted angle with the regular top angle, and I think that's causing the problem. But yeah, I'm not quite sure how to deal with that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. And I think that's going to do it for this episode, so we're going to wrap things up here. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.